Maybe you already saw the short. So this is an AI assistant that can text like a friend. It runs on Claude and it lives on my Telegram. And I built it with zero code in about a couple of hours. But the short only showed the part that works. What it didn't show you is what this video is about. So in those couple of hours, it broke on me twice, silently. n8n told me everything was working the entire time, no error, as usual, no red, nothing. My bot just didn't answer. So here's the whole build, including the 2 breaks I cut out. Mistakes left in, like always. Welcome back to The Late Builder. If you're new, I have zero coding experience and I build AI agents anyway in public with the mistakes left in. So today I wanted to build a Telegram bot because it's going to be the core of the series that will follow this episode. And this bot is going to be used as a sort of a remote control for all the other things I'm going to build after that. So that's what this is. An assistant built in a tool called n8n. Think digital Lego, boxes you connect, no code. And it's just 3 boxes. 1 to hear me, 1 to think using Claude, 1 to reply. So here's brain math. One thing before we start, the boring setup. Making the Telegram bot, getting a Claude key takes about 2 minutes each, and it will be all in the links in the description. Not the interesting part. The interesting part is the couple of hours it took me to wire the 3 boxes together, including the 2 times it broke on me. So let's take it in order. Empty canvas. The first box is the bot's ears. The thing that wakes up when I send a message. In n8n, that's a Telegram trigger. So I pick on message, literally do something when a message arrives. It asks for a credential, which is where my bot's token goes. n8n even warns me here. 1 trigger per bot, only 1 at a time. Remember that line. It comes back to bite me a few minutes from now. So I pass the token, it connects, green. That's it. Box 1 done, the bot can now hear me. First box done, smooth, no drama. I figured the whole thing would be this easy, but not really. Next, the brain. I add the Claude node, Anthropic's AI, the thing that reads my message and actually think up a reply. Quick sidebar, because I wasted 10 minutes here. I went looking for a faster, cheaper Claude model called Haiku. I couldn't find it in the dropdown and I figured it must have been discontinued. But the thing is like it hadn't. n8n's title menu was just out of date. The model still exists, the list hasn't caught up. So lesson 1, the tools menu is not the truth. When something is missing from a dropdown, that doesn't mean it is gone. I just shrugged instead on the Sonnet 4.6, which is on the screen here, and it's just great. Now, the real problem, and this is the one I want you to pay attention to because it's kind of invisible. So when I added that Claude brain, n8n quietly added something else I did not ask for, so a second trigger. It's kind of its own built-in chat window. So as you can see in the screen now, we have 2 trigger boxes. My Telegram trigger and this other trigger called when chat message received. And this other trigger is the one which is actually wired to the brain. So my Telegram bot in this case is connected to nothing. It's just kind of floating there. And here's why it's nasty, because again, nothing is read, there's no error. n8n thinks it's a perfect valid workflow, because actually it's one, it's just the wrong one. So remember that warning from earlier on, 1 trigger per bot. This is n8n kind of breaking its own rule for me and not saying a word. I would message my bot and get nothing, obviously, and I would have no error to Google because there was no error. So the fix, once I saw it, it's just obviously 10 seconds. All you have to do is delete the first trigger, then drag a line from my trigger, the Telegram one, straight into the brain, and now the right door opened the workflow. But finding it kind of took the biggest chunk of the whole build because the tool never once told me anything was wrong. And that trigger kind of left a landmine behind. Because inside the brain, there's a field telling it which words to read. and it was still pointing at the deleted chat window, reading something called chatInput. The problem is a Telegram message has no chat input. That field doesn't exist here. So the brain was being handed nothing, empty. And once again, no error. It would run successfully, but on thin air. The fix is just one line, so I switch it to define it myself and point it at the real thing, the message.text. The actual text inside the Telegram message. Now the brain reads what I actually typed. Last box, the mouth. I send a message node so the reply actually comes back to me. Two things to fill in. The reply text, so it's easy, that's just the brain's answer. The other one looks a little weird, so let me explain you rather than skip it because it stumps people sometimes. So the bot needs to know which chat to reply into, and the brain's answer doesn't carry that, only the original message does. So what I did is that I reach all the way back to the first box, the Telegram trigger, and grab the chat ID from there. That's what this Telegram trigger thing is. It says go back to the trigger and get the chat ID. It looks intimidating, but it's just reaching back to the start for one piece of info. This one, for once, worked first try. So that's it. We have three boxes: ears, brain, mouth. I hit run, open Telegram, and type, hey, how are you working? And as you can see the reply, a smiley face and all. There it is. Every box green, one trigger, the right one. A thing that I can text that thinks with Claude and talks back. Built by someone who can code in a couple of hours. Here's what I actually took from this build. So every single thing that broke was silent. There was no red warnings, no error messages. n8n keep telling me success while my bot sat there saying nothing. The second trigger, the empty field, both were workflows that run perfectly and did nothing. That's the real skill for building this stuff without a coding background. It isn't writing code, it's noticing the gap between it ran and it worked. The computer will happily do exactly the wrong thing and call it a success. So your job is to not believe it until you see the reply land. And this is just version 1. Right now my assistant can chat. That's the floor, but not the ceiling. So next, I'm going to give it a new power every episode. So the first ability will be to search the web, then to read my calendar, then to actually trigger the other agents I've built. Same bot, getting smarter each video until it's the remote control for everything on this channel. So subscribe because you'll want to see it grow up. And the newsletters at thelatebeetle.com. Sign up and I will send you the whole workflow ready to drop into your own n8n so you can build your own in an afternoon. 1 email a month, nothing else. That's the bot. So hope you enjoyed the video and I shall see you in the next one. Bye bye.